Today, we'll be making pot pies. All right, you guys, let's get cooking. And I am telling you, this recipe is so incredibly easy. Not only is it easy, it's delicious. Let's get this party started. So what I have right now in front of me is a cast iron skillet. I love these things because you can move them from the stovetop to the oven and you can actually serve whatever you've been cooking in it onto the table. Yay! Okay, so to this cast iron skillet, I am gonna add some butter. There we go. Smooth that around. I'm gonna add some onions. There we go. I wanna cook my onions down until they're really nice and soft. This smells good already. Yummy, 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 yummy. If you're just starting out with cooking or learning how to cook, I truly believe that having a cast iron skillet is an essential. You can make breakfast in a cast iron skillet. You can make lunch, you can make dinner, you can make desserts. Another reason why I love cast iron skillets is you can actually get some of them that are cheap. You heard me, cheap. You can purchase some of these at just $20. And I am telling you, it is so worth it. Now that my onions have softened, I'm gonna add some flour. So the reason why I've added the flour is I want my filling to be nice and thick, right? You don't want your filling in a pot pie to be runny. No, 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 no. Kind of like what my daughter would say. That's kind of like her thing. She goes, we don't want that. So that's why I've added the flour here. So now I'm gonna add my vegetable stock. Lovely. How lovely. I know this looks runny right now, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my potatoes and my vegetables, and they're gonna soak up about half of this liquid. So I'm bringing this up to a boil, and as you can see, it's just slowly but surely starting to thicken. This reminds me of when my mother used to make gravy. And what she would do is after she would cook the turkey, right? She would save all of the dripping from the turkey and she would put it into a cast iron skillet and she would add her flour, she would add her seasonings, salt and pepper and some other magical things in there. And then she would cut up some mushrooms and she would just sit there. My mom is tiny. She's 5 feet, so she's about like right here. And this is just bringing memories of her being over the stove, and she would just take her little old time and she would just kind of move the spoon around just like this to thicken up her gravy. So that's why I feel like I'm doing this. I'm like, why are you doing this, Tia? And I guess because it just reminds me of my mama. So now I'm gonna add some milk, and the milk is gonna make this really nice and creamy. I'm gonna be throwing all of my ingredients into this cast iron skillet, and that's just what makes this just so easy. Now we have to season this, right? So I'm gonna add some salt. I like things salty. I don't want to add too much salt. That's actually something I have to watch out for. I'm gonna add some pepper. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna add my potatoes. Next, I'm gonna add some vegetables, and these vegetables are frozen vegetables, and this is an easy way to feed your family all of that goodness without all of the prep work. That's like so important to me, especially when you're in the kitchen. Being a mom is enough, right? Being a mom, you have so many responsibilities when it comes to taking care of your kids, and if I could find things that saves time, it's like music to my ears. I'm like literally in heaven. And don't worry about defrosting these. They are gonna defrost right in this mixture. Ooh, I know that this looks really high, right? This liquid is like, oh my gosh, it's gonna come over the sides. But you know what? I want it to be nice and high because I don't want my crust, which I'm gonna put on later. I don't want my crust to sink in, right? I want my crust to sit really nice on top. I'm just gonna let this simmer a little bit until my potatoes get really nice and soft. So just be very gentle with it, as if you were handling a baby. Really nice and gentle. But look at how pretty this is already looking, right? So my potatoes look really nice and soft, and now I'm gonna add the leftover chicken. And you can use leftover turkey. You know how when you have like that huge turkey during Thanksgiving dinner? This is perfect for that. Nobody really eats the whole turkey on Thanksgiving Day, right? So the leftover turkey, you can just throw it into this pot pie. Boom. Or if you want to save time from cooking, the chicken or the turkey, you can just get rotisserie chicken at a grocery store. Now I'm gonna add my chicken. This is also a great meal to serve if you have a big family or if you have a lot of people in the house, because this one dish is very filling. I don't know about you, but when I dive into a pot pie, I want it to be really nice and thick and filling. We don't want any runny pot pies here. That's just disappointing. Nobody wants a disappointing pot pie. Okay, so this looks fantastic. I'm gonna turn this off. Now it's time to put the crust on. And I'm telling you, this is incredibly easy because this is store-bought crust. Now, crust is not only used for dessert, you can use it for savory things as well, just like this pot pie. I'm just gonna place this right on top. And be very careful because it's hot. Okie dokie. What I'm doing is I'm just picking up the dough here and I'm just tucking it right into the pan. There we go. You can do a little crimping. And basically what you do is you just pinch the dough. So you want to work quickly because this dough will start to melt very fast. So before I put this into the oven, I'm just gonna pierce some holes so that the steam comes out right into my crust. You don't want to go too wide because you'll rip the dough. So I'm gonna put this in the oven at 400 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes until the crust is nice and golden brown. So to make this even easier, you can actually make this ahead of time, right? You can cook the filling, let that cool down, put the crust on top, and then throw it into the refrigerator and take it out when you're ready to bake it. All right, you guys, so I've taken my pot pie out of the oven. I've let it cool down for 5 minutes, and now I'm gonna dive into this bad boy. Look at this. Oh. You guys, this smells so incredibly good. Oh my gosh. My goodness, this looks, oh, so divine. This is comfort food at its best. I hope you try this out. I'll see you next week.